Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back for another brand new video. That's right people, we are making a video in 2022 for a match reaction and I'm sitting here with a smile. It's been far too long, but you know son, it was almost worth waiting for because what I saw, not only a massive must-win game of football, but the performance, the effort, the work rate and the answers to the question we got, not only about individuals but collectively. Does this team want it? Well, the game finished Rangers 5, Hearts 0, so I'll let you be the freaking judge. Because from my perspective, I saw a Rangers team answer their critics in a big way. Because I'm actually going to disagree with Chris Boyd in that. I was on Sky. I didn't do that very often when he's talking about Rangers and everything like that. But I'm going to disagree with him right now because he said after the game and even before the game, it doesn't matter the performance. It's just about getting this win this afternoon. But I didn't think so. I think we needed to see a performance. I think we needed to see these Rangers players actually care about what happened on Wednesday night. I wanted to see this Rangers team, now that their backs are finally against the frickin' wall, come out swinging with lefts and rights and show that they know what it means to drop from first place to second and know that isn't good enough. Now I know everyone sees the game differently, but for me I saw what I needed to see from these individuals and the faith that I had in them in yesterday's preview video, talking about backing them to come out with a performance like this was thankfully repaid. And that actually gives me the perfect transition into something I want to mention very briefly before we get to the meat and ties and break down this entire beautiful game of football that I've waited so long to talk about Rangers playing so well. I do want to mention a couple of people who made their return to the starting 11. First of all, I need to talk about Mr. Leon Balogun, who probably won't get a mention throughout today's video, but honestly it was just refreshing to see the big centre back in there, and you could see the difference having two natural centre backs in a team. Slotted in like he'd never been away. Good performance for the big man. I want to talk about Big John Lunny Lundstrom, who, when it was announced he'd be in the starting 11 this afternoon, you could have swam in the tears and the boos that was being put out there by some Rangers fans when it was announced the big man was going to be playing. Honestly, he's got early 2000s Triple H heat and he answered every single one of them. And honestly, if you're quiet enough, you'll probably hear tweets getting deleted about our boy John Lundstrom, because he was excellent alongside the partnership he dreams, and something I'm very encouraged about now, besides Ryan Jack, who, before we even go anywhere and talk about his actual performance, he's making his first start in almost a year. People, let's hear it for a boy, you know what I mean? It's not only a tough game or anything like that to actually play, but it's even tougher up here when you can't go out there and do what you're best at. So Ryan Jack's had to go through so much hell to actually get back here. It's simply incredible, sorry, to see him back out in the pitch, and the fact that he's bringing it out and putting in these performances is even more of a testament to the man and his qualities. Faultless, and I know a lot of people say, oh, you're a Ryan Jack guy, you've always been, so you're going to say that, but anyone who watched that game, you can see the difference Ryan Jack makes to your football team, and I'm very encouraged about Lundstrom and Ryan Jack, because I'm going to say something right now. I haven't seen us win and bully the middle of the park in terms of physicality for, I don't know, right? We've done some lovely stuff, we've passed people off the park, we've been able to run by people, we've had that over the years, but it's been a long time since I've seen two players that just go out there and say, come on then, and win their battles all afternoon. Hearts couldn't get anything in the middle of the park, and that's because Lundstrom and Ryan Jack simply refused to allow it. That's almost old school football tactics, and I'll tell you something right now, I'm here for it, because that gave us the platform to build into the game and win it. It was doing it the hard work of both of them, and I want to see more of that. And last but not least, I cannot mention returning to the Rangers starting 11 without mentioning the next guy, Mr. Alfredo Morelos, who I'll keep this part short because you're going to hear a lot about him through the game recap, but welcome back El Buffalo. And the Colombian manager, by the way, has blood on his hands for taking him halfway across the world and sitting him in the stands, having him doing nothing when he could have been coming here, pulling on the Rangers shirt and playing like that. Frightening. And we are only as good as that man allows us to be. And that actually gives us the perfect way to move in to the game recap, because within 20 seconds you had something you've not seen for a while, a simple long ball that our striker was able to wrestle and get on the end of, as Alfredo Morelos bullies Civic, gets through, and I believe it's the other centre back that gives back and knocks out for a corner. But what a start that is, to see us actually have somebody to play off there and actually having someone with a bit of strength who can get amongst it and make a nothing long ball into Maybe. Now from that set piece that Alfredo Morelos won us, we came close, but it was actually well defended a couple of times by Hearts. Then 5 minutes later in the game, it's a ball zipped right in to Alfredo Morelos, who again uses his strength and just passes it first time in behind to Arfield, who picks out Ryan Kent, and Ryan Kent does majestic here. Runs him right down the line, cuts in, does the Ryan Kent shimmy, as we like to call it here, but unfortunately his cutback shot rolls a whisker wide. Now, didn't forget about that cutback shimmy, Ryan Kent gone just a little bit wide, because we're going to speak about it, almost a carbon copy, in a couple minutes. But before we do get to the other Ryan Kent shimmy, let's talk about the opening goal of this game. And I just love everything about this, because it starts with Connor Goldson nipping in front of Liam Boyce, I believe it is, with a pass into Ryan Jack. And Ryan Jack does something here that a lot of people will overlook or anything like that, but he's just calm on the ball. He doesn't rush it, he doesn't force it, he doesn't just turn back and go for the easy back pass that was there if he wanted to. No, he keeps the ball, he assesses his options, turns it back, and then just clips it over to the wide open Calvin Bassey, who had moved and pushed in to their half. And now, full credit to Jacko and full credit to Bassey, because this through ball here, sensational. Like, if that's Joe Aribo or even Aaron Ramsey that's doing that pass, everyone is gone mental. So I'm going to give a wee bit of credit to Bassey. Phenomenal through ball. He finds Ryan Kent, who this time doesn't check in to his right foot. No, he just runs down the line and whips in a gorgeous ball with his left foot. That's what you get with Kent at his best. That dual threat, being able to cut inside with the right or go out with the left. It's a wonderful cross. Morelos, right place, right time. The ball bounces just in front of him, but it's a lovely wee finish, and we get our goal. And Alfredo gets his 8th goal in 8 games versus Hearts, but we get the goal, our attacking play in the opening 15 minutes, well and truly deserved. 10 minutes after that, we have that highlight we just talked about a minute and a half ago, with Ryan Kent doing some majestic stuff down the left hand side. This is absolutely sensational, man. Honestly, see when he cuts back on this one, right? Because the defender never had a clue where Ryan Kent was. It was like a cartoon, you know what I mean? See when the heat goes like that and you can just see the question marks. That's what that fullback was like up against our boy Ryan Kent, because he got torched inside 10 minutes before, he got torched outside, 5 minutes later. So he's constantly on his heels. Ryan Kent takes advantage with a wee cut inside, the shimmy. All he needs to do now is hit the target, and he's got his goal. His performance deserves in itself. But again, it rolls. I'm sick of saying that about your Ryan Kent. We either start a petition to increase the length of the goals by a couple of inches, so he's sitting there with 35 goals a season, or we work on it, Ryan, and just bring it in a little bit. Just a little bit. Moving away though, because I'm a little bit scared of what he can accomplish when he's got Monster in his veins. You basically talk about the rest of the first half. It was Rangers attacks, nearlies and maybes. Apart from 1 minute before half time, the Hearts actually get on the ball. One time they actually get beyond the midfield, and it's good work from Boyce. He turns, he passes it in to the left hand side, and it's actually Connor Goldson with a fantastic bit of defending. He reads that there when Hearts probably could and should get a goal there, but he positions himself. Brilliant challenge, and he stops Hearts for getting a free shot on target. And that was the end of the first half, with Lundstrom sort of coming out for the corner, blocking it, throwing his body on the line. Pretty much everything we never had on Wednesday night when the ball dropped from a corner, Lundstrom provided in that point. So you go in at half time watching some of the best football we've played in months now, but that little frustration and that little problem that it is still only 1-0. And where that worries you as supporters, that only got worse and worse, because in the 46th minute, Hearts have an opportunity with a long floated ball in. I believe that it's actually Kingsley here with the volley, and maybe it was Kingsley that crossed it. Apologies either way, but I wouldn't say this was a massive opportunity. They were talking up heavy on commentary, but it's a dipping volley when you're basically on the line. Unless you're Roberto Carlos or that boy for Dundee United who scored against us last season, you very rarely get them on target. But that was a warning sign. That warning sign and the warning lights only got brighter less than a minute later with another long aimless ball that's gone to nobody but big Calvin Bassey with the ball up in the air. You know what I'm going to say next. The boy just doesn't like headers. Honestly, if he could header the football, he'd be at Bayern Munich right now, people. But it's he tries to cushion it back to McGregor. It bounces, it drops to the Hearts player, but his sort of chipped finish goes a mile wide. But that was nearly another self-inflicted mistake. And I'm not trying to single out Bassey or anything like that, because to me, I thought he was a brilliant performance from the left back. Strong in challenges, winning a lot of everything on the ground. But again, there's always that wee mistake in the air film, and he needs to clean that out of his game. But despite those 2 quickfire chances and Willie Collum trying his best to ruin a game of football, by the way, because honestly, yes, it was 5-0 and I'm going to be singing and dancing and doing wee Ryan Kent shimmies and that, but I need to just stress to you people, Collum tries his best to ruin a good game of football at every single opportunity. Whistle, whistle, foul, foul, inconsistencies. And he was doing that thing I always say he does. He makes it the Willie Collum show, and it was strangling the life out the fricking game, but thankfully we didn't need to spend much time talking about that walking whistle, people. Nah. Because in the 64th minute, just when the game was breaking down and becoming a frustration, Alfredo fricking Morelos shows what we've been missing since he's been gone, and dropped 5 points when he's actually been gone, because he picks the ball up on his own, hits a wee 1-2 with Kingsley, by the way. Well done. Good little pass back for Kingsley to Morelos, and he opens his body up with a left foot and curls it bread bin. Warburton's crust. Craig Gordon couldn't get near it, and it's 2-0 to Rangers, and that just settled the nerves. Also, side note, by the way, that's Morelos' 9th goal in 8 games versus Hearts. One more, and I think he owns the fricking stadium. But shortly after 2-0, Ryan Jack was substituted off, having led his team for the midfield, drove his team for the midfield into a 2-0 lead versus the 3rd best team in the country. A massive game, a massive moment, but that is what he is for us. A freaking massive player. So many people trying to write him off and saying about this and this over the last couple of months, but he's reminded everyone and he shut a lot of the doubters up. Brilliant, fair boy Ryan Jack, and if we are going to be where we want to be at the end of the season, he will play a massive part in. Sensational fair boy Ryan Jack. But what's interesting, people, we take off quality and we're able to bring on quality, because Glenn Kamara instantly was involved in everything, not only in terms of what everyone knows we're going to speak about, but let's scroll it back. Within 60 seconds of being on the park, he does a phenomenal slide challenge on Barry Mackay inside the 6-yard box to clear the ball out of it. Everyone forgets about that because of the next moment, but from there he rises like the phoenix for Harry Potter, jogs along the park. We have a bit of possession, he then wins the ball back for us. Nice little pass into Tavernier. He continues his run, gets Scotty Arfield involved just for the hell of it, just to be nice. The ball eventually finds its way to Alfredo Morelos, who does that quick little pass in behind they had done a couple of times in the first half, and Glenn Kamara just continues to jog along, runs through on goal. He has Ryan Kent here, and everyone, when every fibre of our beings were expecting Glenn Kamara to pass that for Ryan Kent, but he doesn't. He drops somebody, he sends another in to the shops, people. He cuts back and then passes it in. But you know he's never shooting, people. Go back and look at it. He passed that into the back of the net, and if that's not the most Glenn Kamara thing I've ever heard, then I don't ken what is, people. It has to be. Go back and look at it. He passes it beautifully, and it's 3-0 to Rangers, and it's well and truly game, set, and freaking match. But aye, shortly after it being game, set, and match, what I loved for this Rangers team, again, is answering another question. We didn't set off and get comfortable and start getting slack. No, there has been a quite clear change, and maybe we had to take our spanking on Wednesday night to really make that change be known, because we kept going forward, and kept going forward. And the 74th minute of the game actually came, and this is just sensational play in that as well. Tavernier, who was really good in this game going forward, especially in the second half. Couple of wee iffy moments with the ball at his feet and everything like that, but I thought in the second half he got better and better and better, and this was him driving down the right hand side. He sees Kent, he tries to do a low cross. Arfield tries to get a touch, and I'm not sure if he does. It eventually falls its way to Ryan Kent, who shapes up to shoot, and then does a no-look reverse pass into Scotty Arfield, whose touch is good. The finish isn't great, and to be fair, you have to go to give a lot of credit to Craig Gordon, because that's what he does. He's a fantastic goalie. He saves it, people, but from the rebound it drops to Scotty Arfield again, and Arfield then slaps it into the back of net. And I know they'll probably take this assist off Ryan Kent, but I'm going to say that's 2 assists for our boy so far in the game, and Scotty Arfield saluting his way to another very good performance. Now, just very briefly, Morelos has a 1v1 here after wrestling and battering. Honestly, the centre-back tried to shove him out the way and he bounced off him like a Looney Tunes cartoon, but Morelos does what he always does when he's through and goal, tries to go underneath the goalkeeper. Craig Gordon's got that well scouted. It's an easy save, but aye, that could and should have been his hat-trick. But we end up getting another goal, and we see this one more fricking time, people. That's right, we maybe didn't get the free Morelos' goals to see the celebration, but we saw the celebration for a third time. And what I love about this, people, it just shows you what this team is all about, right? There's going to be doubters, there's going to be frustrations, there's going to be anger, there's going to be sadness, but this team has each other's backs in the fight for them, because just before we end up getting the goal, by the way, obviously Aaron Ramsey comes on, electrifying ovation, and he showed his quality. Once when he broke the ball down inside his own box, normally you've maybe seen like miss hits or anything, but he brings it down, finds the pass, another one. Couple of minutes later, beautiful little back heel nutmeg and a player to put Calvin Bassey inside the box. Very, very impressed. This here is brilliant, and it starts with Ryan Kent, this time playing on the right hand side of the channel. Lovely little quick feet, nice little combination play again, and he actually stays on his feet, he battles, and he just runs down the line, and he just uses his pace, so much purpose, even though it's late in the game. And the game's done, he doesn't slow down or half-arse it or go in his second gear. It's power, it's pace. Heat up. I'm thinking he's picking out Aaron Ramsey at the back post. I'm about to lose it, people. But sakala just comes out of nowhere. For a first touch, it's golden. The second gen is platinum as he just tickles it beyond Craig Gordon, who can't get near it. It is now 5-0 to Rangers. And as sakala goes and does his knee slide, he drops the Alfredo Morelos in. Aye, what a moment, what a player, what a freaking game this was. And what a third assist of the game for Ryan Kent, who I had a lot of questions about whether he wanted it or if he was just strolling because he wants to be leaving or he doesn't want to be here. Well, the laddie went ahead and took it on his shoulders, and he answered every critic and reminded everyone that form is temporary but class is permanent, and when it goes right for that laddie, there's nobody near him. And aye, with that being said, that's me going to wrap up today's video, because I'm not wanting to take up all your time. I know you've probably got the sick of the sight of me this weekend, but aye, I just wanted to sit here with a massive smile on my face and say that was the performance I knew the players were capable of. And I just feel good seeing them going ahead and playing like that, because it wasn't just about the win. No matter what this pundit or that says to me, I needed to see something for these players. And I've saw it, people, and aye, that leaves me in very good spirits for the rest of the frickin' season. And again, shout out to Lundstrom, who's took a lot of crap lately in that, but I thought he really set the tone with his challenge, almost Kevin Thompson-esque, diving in, getting involved, getting the crowd up that way, because again, he's not a skillful player who's going to beat people and get the crowd up. That is how he can get the crowd up and energise the team. And I thought he set the tone perfectly all frickin' game. So aye, so much positivity, so much happiness. But now I hand the reins over to you. I want to know your thoughts and opinions. What did you see from this team? And would you make any changes going in to the next game? For me, no, not at all. That is the team that starts going into the next game, in my frickin' opinion. But with that being said, I've been Sieging over 92. That's been a Rocky Boy Johnson, who's very excited because I'm excited right now and wants to go a walk. And I better do what the boss actually wants. So to wrap up today's video, take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video. All the best and bye-bye.